Okay, so the Asus Transformer Pad Infinity TF700 has arrived in quite a nice, tidy package, quite heavy, but not unjustifiably so. So let's have a look at what's actually inside the box. So like all Transformer products, the individual components are wrapped in plastic. As you can see, this is the tablet. It's nice and lightweight, and also it's incredibly thin as well. Now here we have the keyboard dock. Again, equally lightweight and equally skinny. So when I combine the two, it should be a pretty portable package. Okay, so inside we've got the paperwork, got your warranty card and user manuals. Got a handy microfiber cloth and of course your AC adapter. So now it's time to lose the plastic. And there we have one keyboard dock. And now let's unwrap the tablet. Its gorgeous spun metallic lid is immediately reminiscent of the Transformer Prime. It has the same body, the same thin and lightweight form factor, so it'd be easy to confuse the two. Now, if you're not sure what you're getting in the box, this handy indicator, which is stuck on the screen, will be able to tell you what you can expect. So, transforms to full HD, we've got ice cream sandwich, super IPS plus panel, so we've got a gorgeous screen, Tegra 3 quad-core credentials, Gorilla Glass 2, 8 megapixel autofocus camera, crystal pure sound reproduction, and a battery life of 9.5 hours. Now, of course, this is for the tablet alone. The dock will bring additional battery life. Okay, so you're going to need to rotate the dock connector on the keyboard. It's quite sturdy, although some may argue it's not sturdy, it's just stiff. And in it pops, like we've seen before, with a nice, reassuring and sturdy click. And like we've seen before, when you want to release the keyboard from the dock, simply slide the button and release. So it's resumed its netbook form factor. Looks really good, very slim line from the side, from all angles in fact. Now, just by looking at it with the power switched off, it'd be easy to confuse this with the Prime. But there is a noticeable difference. As you can see, there's now a thin strip of plastic stretching across the top, which is presumably put in place to improve the signal reception. Okay, so on the left-hand side of the tab, we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack, we've got a micro HDMI port, and we have a micro SD card slot. And on the keyboard, all we've got on this side is your connector for charging. Now moving on to the right-hand side of the tablet, we've got nothing going on here, but we do have a volume rocker now situated at the top. And on the keyboard, we've got your SD card slot and your covered USB port. An 8 megapixel camera complete with LED flash lives at the back. Flip it around and you're staring at a 2 megapixel camera at the front as well. Now here it is next to its sibling, the Transformer Prime. As I mentioned earlier, there are some noticeable differences. You'll also notice a new speaker design, which is slightly more elongated this time, as opposed to the slightly chunkier speaker grille that sits on the Prime. And here it is next to the Pad 300, which is of course the cheaper option of the Transformer family, which doesn't have the metal casing and instead opts for plastic. But the Pad 300 isn't rocking a flash, whereas the Infinity is. So that's designed well and truly covered. So now let's turn it on. Okay, so when you're booting the Infinity up for the first time, you'll be presented with this welcome screen, complete with a little Android man who I assume is trying to wave. So let's go through the setup process. Hit start. I can set Wi-Fi up later. So if you're familiar with Android, you're taken through the setup process that you're presented with on any device, be it a tablet or a smartphone. Now we know it's running ice cream sandwich. Everything looks nice and crisp, and moving in between each of the home pages is very fast indeed. A simple tap of the screen and I can choose a wallpaper. We go to the apps page, apps and widgets even. I can scroll through that very, very quickly. And if I want to put something onto the home page, there we go. Now, one thing I will say is that the weight distribution is slightly lopsided. So when I'm prodding the screen, it tilts back slightly. So watch out for that. There's loads of features to sink your teeth into, and of course access to the Play Store. let's take the keyboard for a test drive. I'm just going to fire up Supernote. Now you only need to look at the keyboard to know that the keys are shallow, but it's a decently sized keyboard as well. And it's quite comfortable to type on. Now if you're not a fan of its purpley metallic hue, it's also available in silver, as we've just seen on the Prime. And as ever, we'll have a full review up on stuff.tv very, very soon.